In this video, I'll be walking you guys through exactly what I did to reach $981 in MRR in the very first 30 days of launching my community. And to help you guys, I'm going to break this process down into 7 simple steps. Now, the very first step starts with you going into the description and checking out the video that I released a couple days ago. This video builds on that one, and that video talks to you about how you can reach $100 in MRR, validating your offer and your idea, all before your Skool free trial ends. So make sure to watch that and then come back to this video to continue it. Now that you've watched this video, we can go ahead and get started with step 2, which in my case was developing my community. At this point, I had already collected a bunch of feedback and observations from my members that I had calls with, so I knew exactly what their pain points were, what issues they had, and what questions they had, and I started to rank them from most important and most common to the least common. And starting with the most common, I started making video courses to address those issues, as you see here. However, I was very careful not to build too much. At the end of the day, and we'll get into this in step 3, you cannot stop the momentum that you already have of getting members in through the door. And second, you want to be careful with how much content you start putting inside of your community. The reason for that is because one of the largest things that's going to keep people inside of your community and keeping them paying more is coming soon. As you can see here in this screenshot, I have the 3 most important modules right at the top, and the last one says coming soon. What you need to do, and what I did, was I mapped out and I laid out in plain sight every single video course that's coming out, and I released pretty much everything besides the last module. The reason for that is because if people can see what's coming down the line and it's something that's going to help them out, they're going to stick around until that comes around. So make sure that you always include something inside of your community that says coming soon. Once I did that, I moved on to step 3. And in this case, step 3 was not stopping and killing the momentum that I had already built up. Think about momentum as if you're pushing a boat on water, or a car in neutral on land, or a big round boulder. At first, pushing those is very, very hard because they're super heavy. However, if you keep pushing, it'll get easier and easier as you go. It's the exact same thing with this. If you started getting traffic, do not stop that, because the second you do, it'll become very hard for you to get it back up again. So whilst you're building it, continue pushing as much traffic as possible. Continue releasing new things, continue helping out people, continue getting feedback that you can use to build your community and develop it further, continue getting testimonials so that you can use that to get even more members, and keep pushing your traffic source. In this case, you can see here that since I launched this community, I never dipped below a couple hundred of activities in Skool every single day, even though I was constantly building my community. The more exposure you have, the more members you will get. So get that momentum and keep it going. Once I did this, I moved on to step 4, which was analyzing if my traffic source was good enough and if I should double down, or if I should pivot and try another traffic source. Now, here are the 2 questions that you need to think about when it comes to your traffic. The first is if your current traffic source is getting you enough members or a good amount of members. And the second question is if the quality of the members is good. In my case, I was getting plenty of members and I was getting very good quality members. Why? Because I was hanging out where my target avatar hangs out. So if you want to learn how you can get enough traffic, then keep an eye out for my next video, because in that video, I'm going to walk you guys through exactly how I got 91 members into my community within the very first 3 weeks of me launching it, with no ads, no content, and 0 followers. However, once I determined if my traffic source was getting me enough members and if the quality was good, I was faced with 2 options: either doubling down or testing out new platforms. In my case, I was getting a very good quality members, but the amount of traffic that I was getting was not the best. So what I decided to do was a mixture of both of these. First of all, I doubled down on the traffic. Second, I also started testing new platforms, and that's why I'm here on YouTube. Because YouTube allows me to have a lot more leverage. Once I post something, there's a lot more probability that it'll catch on. There are a lot more eyeballs that can go onto it, and I can keep pushing people to it, even through the traffic source that I'm using as of now. That being said, if you decide to test out a new platform, here's what you need to do. Don't reinvent the wheel. Just copy what worked. You've likely heard of this time and time again, and it's true, it works. What you're going to do is you're going to search for your competitors, you're going to see what's working for them, and you're going to take what works and just copy it and make your own take of it. Keep in mind, I am not telling you to straight up copy it and plagiarize it. Do not be that person, because you'll be banned and people will not like it. So instead, look at their video, see what concept they talk about, how they talk about it, and how they deliver it, and just do your take on that same concept. Then keep trying and keep testing out different videos, different styles, and different everything, copying what works at the same time, until you've had enough skin in the game and enough data to then determine, okay, is this working? Am I getting good quality members? And you go down these two paths yet again. In my case, I've doubled down on the current traffic source that I'm using, and I've just started on YouTube. Again, I started looking for people that are competitors or close competitors, seeing what's been working for them, and that's how I'm going about making my videos. I am modeling them after what's already shown up on YouTube and what's already gotten views. When it comes to my current traffic source that I've already been using, I've just doubled down on it. I've provided even more value, I've been showing up even more every single day, and I've been giving out information for free. At the end of the day, you want to give out the information for free and sell the implementation. Or in other words, in a gold rush, sell the shovels and not the gold. Once I had figured out the traffic, it was time for me to move on to the next stage. And that stage was pushing people into my free community. Now, I did this by just providing an insane amount of traffic. I did not promote my service inside of other groups, because that would just get you banned and people do not like that. So instead, I just focus on providing insane amounts of value. In the process of showing up all day, every day, people started seeing me everywhere, and people started being curious as to what I did, and eventually they checked out my profile and joined my community. At which point, I was then able to auto DM them and auto email them using this system that you see here, which allowed me to nurture the relationship with them, get them familiarized with what I do, see some sort of work, and see the testimonials of people that I've worked with. This got them in a lot better mentality to, first of all, hop on a call with me where I could sell to them and help them. And second of all, it prepared them to then join my paid community. After this, I moved on to step 6, which was getting people on a call. And to get people on a call, I leveraged several things. The first was daily posting inside of my community with a call to action for them to book in a call with me. Second was the auto DM feature, where I got them to engage with me right away, and I got High Level to alert me the second that someone joined my community so I could be on top of them straight away. Third, I used emails to send them emails even if they didn't see my community posts or my auto DMs, calling them to book in a call with me. And fourth, I used High Level systems to book them into a call with me, pre-qualify them, send them confirmation of their booking, and remind them of their booking with the booking link many times before their call, all without me having to lift a single finger. And it was at this point that I could move on to the last step, step 7. And this step is the one that you're pushing for the close. And to do this, I use the closer framework. Now, depending on the value of your ticket price, you'll want to have 1, 2, or even 3 calls. And depending on your experience, you may also want to have additional calls so that it makes the process of selling easier for you. In my case, selling at $47 a month, as of this recording, of course, because I'm increasing the price as I go, this is a pretty low value. So I could get away with selling to them on 1 call, and that's very effective. So instead of having to spend more time on different calls, I decided to keep it to only one call. And to close them, I used Alex Hormozi's closer framework. It's very simple. All you have to do is go onto Google. I was already on Google. And you just search closer framework. Go onto images and boom, there you go, the closer framework. Just have this open next to you whilst you're on a call with a prospect, go through the steps and close them on your paid community. Now, keep in mind, don't have your expectations too high because the very first calls are going to be trash. You're unlikely to going to be able to sell to them in the first few calls, but practice makes perfect. So strive to get as many of those calls as possible and practice, rewatch those calls and get better call by call. So that's it for this video. This is the exact 7-step process that I used to get to $981 in MRR in the very first 30 days. So if you enjoyed this, go ahead and stay tuned for the very next video coming up, which goes over exactly how I got 91 members in the first 3 weeks of launching this community, all without having a single follower, a single piece of content, and without running ads. And if you need help with high level, make sure to check the description because I've left the link to my free community down below, which you can join and start getting help with high level right away.